What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams with the distance. I'm here to give a short prediction for Antonio Diaz versus Victor Ortiz. This matchup takes place this Saturday on HBO Boxing After Dark. Anyway, on to the matchup. Victor Ortiz, all eyes are on him at the moment due to the fact that he did quit in his match against Marcos Maidana in that post-fight interview when he mentioned that he was thinking about quitting boxing because he didn't deserve to get beat on like the way he was being beaten. Now, boxing is a gentleman's sport, and it's a contact sport. Boxing is not a gentleman's sport, but a contact sport. So you're gonna get roughed up. You're gonna get hit. There's gonna be blood. There's gonna be swelling. There's gonna be, bones broken. Apparently, he did break his hand as well. And I look at the fight, quite a bit, studying the fight, and Victor Ortiz was basically just getting roughed up and beat on and stuff like that, and Ortiz just quit. Now, I understand quitting in the sport when you're getting hurt bad enough to the point where the pain's excruciating. Even though I've seen more grotesque injuries, I did understand why Ortiz quit, but he didn't have to, make up an excuse about it. Just say the better man won that night, and Ortiz couldn't say it. He couldn't admit that the better man won, that night back on June 26th or 27th. But anyway, overall, to the matchup, Victor Ortiz is taking on a quality veteran Antonio Diaz. Antonio Diaz has faced some okay opposition. He has faced Shane Mosley, and he has faced Antonio Margarito, but this is back in his prime. Now I'm not too sure whether it's his prime or not. I think he's way past it. He did take a 3-year layoff, came back in 2008, had about 4 bouts since, but he's been pretty much a part-time fighter since 2002, and just now getting refocused to fight again. But more than likely, he's not going to reach contention again unless he defeats Victor Ortiz. And if he defeats Ortiz, he could be very well back in contention, maybe a fight or two back in. But we'll see with Diaz. But in this matchup, Victor Ortiz, very good with his right jab, southpaw stance. Good with the right jab, likes to sneak in the left hand, has a lot of power in his left hand, and I think with the right jab in this matchup, I think that's his bread and butter. I think Victor Ortiz could move around because if you look at a lot of Antonio Diaz's past matchups, Diaz has had trouble with fighters that moved a lot. Like, look at the Shane Mosley fight. Mosley just moved around the ring, just walked around the ring, and didn't give Diaz the target that he wants, because Diaz is the type of fighter who likes to stand and trade at the center of the ring, and at the same time Diaz can walk his opponents down. That's the type of fighter that he is. But this is early in his career he was able to do that. Earlier in his career, he was able to stand and trade and walk his opponents down from the center of the ring. But see, Victor Ortiz, I think Victor Ortiz is more of a mover. He's not a stationary target. Victor Ortiz moves around the ring. He works behind his right jab and sneaks in the left hand. And Victor Ortiz, is very precise with the right jab, and sometimes he unloads and puts all his shots together very well. Puts them together perfectly. I think in this matchup, blinding shots will be the key to victory. I think if you jump on Antonio Diaz, if you say Victor Ortiz comes out the first 2 rounds and he's working behind that right jab, and then round 3 comes and he just jumps on him, that's the type of fighter Victor Ortiz is. And on top of that, this is the type of style that gives Antonio Diaz trouble. So Victor Ortiz just needs to work patiently behind the right jab, move around the ring, don't stay in one place. Don't square up with Antonio Diaz. Just patiently work behind the right jab and sneak in the left at times. Because best believe when Antonio Diaz doesn't see a shot coming, he gets confused. And other than that, if you look at Antonio Diaz's guard, there's always an opening in that guard. And with fast fighters, their jab will get through the guard before he's able to cover up. So that's just the key to victory for Ortiz. It's just simple, basic, fundamental boxing. is basically Victor Ortiz's key to victory. You know, staying out of exchanges with Diaz as well. You know, don't provide the stationary target that Diaz wants. And for Antonio Diaz in this matchup, I think that his key to victory is timing and clinching. That's all. That is all Antonio Diaz has to do is time and clinch. Because Victor Ortiz is the type of fighter when you get him into a rhythm, you know he's unstoppable. He's dominant when he's in when he's in a certain rhythm. And when you time and when you clinch, you kind of take a fighter out of his rhythm, out of his element. And Antonio Diaz can do that because when Victor Ortiz misses with that left hand that he likes to land, that he likes to sneak in, usually he's open. He's open for the right hook. And if you look at the Maidana matchup, he's actually usually open for the right hook with the type of defense he has. If you look in Victor Ortiz's earlier matchups, he had kind of a tight guard, similar to how Lamont Pearson has a tight guard, but not as tight. But his guard was very tight, and at the same time, Victor Ortiz was always open his whole career to the right hook. He's always been open to it. So I think Antonio Diaz needs to land the right hook and basically just rough up Victor Ortiz. Antonio Diaz, needs to, just try to fight Ortiz on the inside and basically just rough him up. See if he has the heart and the physical toughness to fight him or whatever, and we'll see what goes on from there. But overall, Victor Ortiz is actually the type of fighter that when you hit him and say he's not doing anything in the round, but when you hit him hard enough, he starts fighting again. So that's why I'm saying that Antonio Diaz needs to counter, time, and clinch. That's basically all Antonio Diaz needs to do. But if I had to choose for this matchup, I'm going to say Victor Ortiz should win this matchup by maybe a mid to late round TKO. I think it's going to be a stoppage in the matchup, and I'm not sure if Antonio Diaz is the same fighter he was like 10, 11 years ago, but I think all eyes are on Victor Ortiz, and I think he has something to prove in this matchup. I think his speed will be the factor. But anyway, thanks for watching. That was The Distance. Peace.